This episode of Shop Talk is brought to you by K Essentials Hair Care. Heal, hydrate, and grow your hair without buildup, because self-care starts at the roots. The Beauty Shop. For Black women, it's a place that represents freedom, individuality, style, and transformation.
It's where Black women have historically found their dignity, healing, and sometimes their identity.
It's the place we go to get glam, unwind, gossip, and sort out our lives.
One sidebar conversation can easily unite and ignite passionate discussions about everything.
From celebrity news, fashion trends, to sports and politics.
Shop Talk is a show that focuses on the concerns of mature Black women
who want to dig deeper on how they can better take care
of themselves, their families, finances, careers, and close relationships.
Nothing is off the table when you are in the chair.
On Shop Talk!
We're back with our Shop Talk. Yes! Kaya is out for this week, and we are thinking of her right now, but we are excited to have with us CL.
Oh, man. So glad.
CL. Yes. Our Clothier to the Stars, a celebrity tailor, and many other things.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Super blessed to be here with y'all ladies talking shop.
Yes.
Welcome to the shop.
Welcome. You look sharp.
Yes. Thank you. Y'all look sharp. I had to bring it up. I had to make sure I was right.
You are right.
I knew where I was coming.
When are you not right? But anyway, we like your modesty.
So, of course, we are here at Hair in Motion Academy.
Yes.
And we are so blessed to have with us Miss Lesline Barton.
Magic hands.
Magic hands. Blessed hands.
Anointed hands.
Anointed
Come
hands.
on. Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Honey, my cup runneth over and my
Tell
hair
you.
is a-growing. So I am very, very pleased.
I may come back later for a blowout.
All right now. Watch out. She only needs about 5 minutes. She whip it up. She whip it up.
She gonna get you
Oh,
right.
boy.
So it is holiday time, and we're at the end of 2021. We made it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
So it is holiday time, and you know, this is the time of year that people obviously are gathering, and you know, COVID has changed a lot from the way that we typically gather, but one thing that hasn't changed, at least for me, is during the holidays, sometimes I've learned how to create my family. My family dynamic is rather unique, and we don't always, you know, some people don't know how to get over the hump and get along, you know, go along to get along.
Yeah.
Right.
So today I want to talk a little bit about what is it like for you all, or have you ever had to create your family for the holidays? Because I mean, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, even growing up, my mom and I would go to other people's houses and enjoy with their family, because it might be a little bit tense with my family.
Yeah.
And it's not enjoyable, it's not pleasurable, it's not joyful.
Right.
So have you guys ever experienced that?
Yeah.
I can. Look, you said. I know you have. I don't know if I've had to create my own family, but I know that sometimes in family situation it is tense. And I would say for my family, we're going through a very tense, you know, situation right now when it comes to my sister. So we probably all would just say everybody do their own separate thing instead of gathering together, because we know it wouldn't end well. And like you say, holidays are supposed to be joyful. So if you know it's not going to end well, why even go into it? Right. You know, and then for me being in Orlando for a while, I know my children and I, we used to do our own thing, you know, with our ex. We didn't really go home that much since my mom passed away. However, we would go to a friend on Thanksgiving, like afterwards. They would always do this dessert party. So my children and I would go to their dessert party. It would be a mixture of people, play games and doing that. So I guess we have kind of created our own family when it comes to Thanksgiving. Christmas, we don't make a big hoorah about. We never have. I've always told my children Christmas is really about, you know, Jesus. It's not about gifts. And that probably helped me out too when it came to buying gifts.
Don't be using Jesus for your story.
Help me out, because they're like that now. They don't really get into it like that. But Christmas is almost like every day to my children. It's the way that I treat them and the way that I love them, and if they need something. So it's like every day. So I've been in a situation where you have to create your family. Sometimes it's better that way.
Yeah.
Because your family gets on your nerves sometimes. I mean, you got that drunk uncle or auntie. I mean, you do. You have that drunk uncle or auntie. You have the one that's going to come that probably, smell like weed and going to continue to smell like it and be like, oh, I can't smoke in here. You got that one that smokes cigarettes still. You know what I mean?
You got the one that brings people. That happens
not
on my
invited.
side.
I mean,
you got to bring all these people, and I'm like, well, you're with your family. Why can't you just be with your people, your family, and not bring people that we don't know? And then they're looking, crazy because we're not reacting and interacting with them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've had to create family, not because necessarily of any negative family dynamic, although it's there. Everybody's, like you said, got the drunk uncle. If you're watching this and you don't have a drunk uncle or a drunk auntie, it's probably you. But that's beside the point. However, I moved here from Memphis in 2008. And so I moved here from Memphis in 2008. So, now I'm married, and my wife's family, I spend a lot of time with them during the holidays when I'm not going back home. But before then, I had to create family, and my family became those friends and those that are close to me. And not to make it Bible study or anything, but it made me think when you were talking one time, Jesus was somewhere teaching, and they came and got him and said, hey, man, your mother and your brother outside. And he's like, my family? Who is my family? Like, my family in here, the ones doing the will of my Father. Yeah. So it kind of let me know there's a different dynamic and different definition of family sometimes. Sometimes family is, it's not everyone that has your last name.
Right.
Sometimes family and some of the people that are closest to you y'all don't share the same name or the same lineage at all.
So. Yeah, I have a lot of friends who are stuck closer than a brother or a sister, and really I have built this network of people who have really held me down, held my hand through some tough times in ways that I think some of my family members didn't know how to emotionally connect. Right. And maybe because they were too close to the fire, so it's harder for them to be there for me like some people who I met 12 or 20 years ago who see me for who I am. Right. In a different way than how my family sees me. Yes. And so we communicate better, and we just have a more genuine time. Our time together is just a lot more fulfilling and fun. Yeah. And even when it's not in the best of circumstances, I feel like sometimes my extended family are the people who, we still have this camaraderie and a respect for one another. That allows us to enjoy our holidays together. And I enjoy giving them gifts because they know how to receive it. Yeah. And they also know how to give me the gifts that I want.
That's right.
And that doesn't mean expensive. Right. But it does mean, something that is thoughtful.
Expensive doesn't hurt.
Expensive does not hurt. Never does.
You say, look, we look expensive today.
The only expensive that hurts is a pair of Louboutins, and I'm fine with that too. Red bottoms can always hurt.
I don't have red bottoms today, but you know what? I love my Louboutins. But that was. I tell people I love Louboutins back like in 2008 when he first came out. So I'm not new to this, honey. But most definitely, I can agree with that because I've had some friends that have really invested in me and my business, and I know my family probably wouldn't do it, and I don't know if they would. Even if they had the money to do it. You understand what I'm saying? I have a friend that invested in me because I said, I want to go to New York. I want to do this. I want to really learn. I really want to see if my gifting is really what it is. Let me go to New York. I went. I didn't know anybody. And I was there for an entire month. I left my children with their daddy, which I was still married at the time. My friend invested in me and my business in this trip to say, go. So that means she just say, hey, she said, well, let me see your little business proposal. Let me see what you have. And I had it all together. I gave it to her, and she said, okay, I'm going to invest in you. And when I went there, it was amazing how people were attached, just kind of connected to me, like, oh yeah, what do you do? They knew I was a country girl. Like, where you from? I said, Florida. And they were like, yeah. But it was amazing. It really encouraged me and let me know that my gifting and what I'm doing, I can do it.
Yeah.
And I went for the entire month, and it was fantastic. Yeah. And I still have connections from people that I made back in 2014, and it's 2021.
Yeah.
From doing that.
Sometimes people, because of what they know about you personally, it's unintentional, I believe, but because of what they know about you personally, they innately have a hard time receiving you on a different level. Yeah. Because I think subconsciously we have this association thing where it's kind of difficult for me to see that her or she or him whom I grew up with is at such a higher plane than I am.
Okay.
And sometimes it's internal, unfortunately, sometimes it's intentional. Sometimes people just can't accept it because I don't want to receive it. Because that also means that if she's gone ahead and really pursued her attention or her destiny and her purpose, then what am I doing? Because I'm still in the same place we were when she left town. So sometimes it's difficult to accept, whether it's intentional or unintentional.
I learned that when I won Miss America, I had to deal with some of my friends. And I was in college at the time, so some of my friends, they just didn't know how to take it. It was a goal, it was a dream, it was cute, it was fun. Like, oh, okay, well, good luck, girl.
Right.
And then I won.
Till you do it, yeah. And it's like, oh, wait. It was good. It was good luck. It was good luck until they put the crown on you. Oh, wow.
Until she went.
Makes it very different.
Yeah.
And that was shocking to me because there were people that I was trying so hard to keep the relationships going. I would call them. I was busy. I was in this whole new
arena,
way of life and on media tours, and I was going on television, and I was doing all these things that I always wanted to do. And then I would call one of my girls from school, and they were like, oh girl, I'm doing homework. And it was like they would cut off, or they wouldn't answer the phone, and I was offended that I'm taking time out of my very busy schedule to make sure that you know that I'm still me.
Yeah.
And I am. At every level, you really are still you, but you're a different version of you. Yeah. There's a petal that just came off, and it revealed a new layer of who you are. Sure. And it is hard for people to reconcile with that.
Yeah, it is. And I have this saying too, I don't force friendships. I don't force friendships with family. I don't force it with friends, and definitely ain't forcing with people that I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? Like, honey, no, I don't do that.
Social media friends.
Yeah, listen, definitely don't force it with them. Yeah. Not their mama, their cousin, or nobody else. Because you just can't do it. We're too old for that. I'm like, I'm over 45. She'll be quiet. Ooh. Shut your mouth. He need to be quiet, but I'm not forcing friendships. And I think when the older we get, that we realize that we don't have to force friendship. Friendship should be, it should be organic and it should be easy. Not saying that the relationship or the growth, you have your bumps in the road with friends. Right. That's what happens. But it should not be so like draining, like, oh my God, who calling me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to talk to her today.
Right.
When you see a friend call, you be like, hey girl, what's up? Oh, I missed your call. Let me hurry up and call you right back.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's the way it should be. It should not be forced. I mean, if it's forced, it's not right.
Yeah, and you mentioned age, and at this point, I think we're all old enough to say, I value my peace.
Hey, oh, you better say that
Like,
again.
I'm just like, I value my peace, and I'll go out of my way to make sure I have it. And that's a commandment, to seek peace, to follow it. Like I follow the path of peace. Why you always hanging? Because it's peaceful. It's peaceful. Yeah, that's right. Why you always chilling with them? Because it's peaceful. Yeah, it's not right. Work, man. It's not like a chore. Yeah. And so that's kind of where I am. And so some of my friends, whether we add or don't add, or say, it's just peaceful.
Yeah.
Now I am about to join the 40-40 club, honey. I'm about to turn 40 next week. It's my birthday. It's my birthday.
There's a lot of people turning 40 this year.
Yes, because 81 was a good year, honey.
Okay.
All these people having babies in 81.
It was very good for
year
them,
for the parents. Jesus.
But it was even better when I showed up.
I see you.
So I was the gift. At the end of the year, I was after
what day
Christmas, December 29th.
Come on, man.
Cash at me. But I'm about to turn 40, and I recognize that there are some friends that are probably going to fall off. I see it. I've seen a few of them already. And every decade, there's a new level of you as well. So what's your advice to the young bucks over here? Not that y'all aren't, but y'all are very youthful. Yeah. But for those of us who are still in our 30s on our way out.
Listen, I can tell you firsthand because I'm just slightly past 40,
Yes. Whatever.
But I remember, for me, and I don't know if it's different from male to female, but for me at age 40, I really started to take inventory of my life, the people that are around me, the people and the ways that I spend time. And because of that, now I will say this as a point of reference, because of that, Erica, some of the people need to be cut off. It was time, but some of the people just got hit in the fire. It was a knee-jerk reaction because, I quit a band I was playing with at the time. It was a lot. I just was just taking stuff off. Yeah. And a lot of it, like I said, needed to be, but some of those, the time wasn't up. It hadn't expired. So I'd say as you kind of going through some cleaning and some purging and all those types of things, look for those relationships that should be nicked, but also be careful because once you get into nicking mode and you're just cutting throats, somebody's throat may get slashed that it wasn't time for them.
I'm pretty good about that. I have been fortunate to have discernment enough to know who to keep.
Right.
And then sometimes, if I'm not really settled in myself, and how you go through those periods where you're just kind of going along with life and you're not really taking the time that you need to meditate and to pray right and to be centered and to be self-centered and not in an arrogant way, but self-centering, like knowing how to self-correct, right? When I'm not doing that, then I still have the ability to keep the right people around. So I feel like I'll be protected in the types of people that stay around, but I am looking forward to going to that next level. Katrina, what you got for me? I know you got something
well,
for
listen,
me.
I had epiphany at 40. My mom died in when I was 35 or something like that. So at 40, something happened and clicked in my head as far as when it came to my marriage, when it came to my health, when it came to what does Katrina want for the next 40 years of her life. And I don't know, it was like a light bulb came on, like ching ching. And I didn't want to be in a relationship that I was in anymore because I said that I've given enough of my life, almost 20 years to a relationship that I felt like it was in a cycle. I think that when you turn 40, you need to realize what cycles have you repeatedly in your 30s. You have to look at things that you've done over and over again, even if it's with relationships, even if with money, decisions. Don't take that over to your 40s because you know what? You're going to keep repeating the same things over and over again. And then you're going to look up and you'll be 45, 47, 50, and you're still doing the same thing 55. That you did. 55, that ain't me, stop it. You'll still be doing the same things that you did back then. So it's almost kind of like, what have you done? What have you achieved? So that's what it was for me. When I turned 40, I had to think, what am I going to do for Katrina? It wasn't about my children. It wasn't about my marriage. It wasn't about the people around. It was about, what about me? Right. What am I going to do for me? How do I want to live the next half of my life? Do I want to live it like in this same rut? And I call it was like a hamster wheel. And when a hamster gets on he stays on there when? Until he jumps off. So in my 40s, I jumped off.
Right now.
I jumped off, and I jumped all the way off, and I am good. I'm not saying that it's been easy. Now, I'm not gonna say that because people don't tell you the dirt. You know, people always want to give you the glam and like, oh, no, it's been some dirt. You know, you talk to my children, they probably tell you, and I'll say it's been some time where we've come home and the light's been off.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's been those times as well when we've not had money to do our essentials.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And as a mother, I think, okay, you have 2 children. They looking at you like, what we doing? And so it's been those times. So I don't like to gloss that over. But I had to make some decisions for Katrina.
That survival mode, though, I feel like it brings you so much closer to your children. Because I've been through all sorts of stuff with my mom and being raised. You know, I think a lot of times people expect that I am from this very privileged background and everything was always rainbows and glitter for me, and that's not the truth. And I tell what I choose to tell, right? But I know the truth, and the truth is that my mom is a warrior on every level, and she really did go through some things, and now that I am getting older, I'm reflecting on when she was around my age and how things were going for me then and for her then, and now I'm paying attention to how it's going for me now, and I'm like, oh, it all's making sense, right? It's like the sacrifices that you make for your kids, the sacrifices that you make for yourself as a woman, the things that you grow through and go through. It really is eye-opening.
Yeah.
It has been. I would love to hear from Miss Leslie. Yes, because I know.
You know I have a story. So you met Raquel today.
Yes.
Which was 20 years ago.
Yes.
And I was 40. So being pregnant at 40, it was like, okay. I didn't realize it because I felt still youthful, like I was in my 20s, 30s, still had my business going. And when I got pregnant, I was like, Mom, you couldn't tell me? You know, but at the time, what would she have told me? I was going to have my child anyway. And then they told me I was high risk and my child probably be deformed. And I said, you know what, I'm not taking the amniocentesis test because whatever she comes out is my child. Whether she's deformed, whatever it is. And you saw Raquel today.
She's fabulous. University of Pennsylvania?
UPenn.
Come on now. Yes, ma'am.
So smart, very intelligent. But at 40, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I had some hiccups because I couldn't work. So I lost a lot of stuff, you know, and I couldn't operate my business the way I did. So I lost my business during that time because it was either her or the business. And I chose her, all right, and my family. So we started the pieces all over, but look where we are today.
I'm telling you, girl.
Yes.
You know, so 40 is not a bad age.
I'm excited about it.
It's fabulous.
Yes. I feel like this is like my 3rd quarter, and I'm definitely going to be doing some major things. I'm going to be making some major touchdowns.
I know your hands.
All right, let's take a little break, and we'll be back in a moment with some shop talk.
We represent the American dream. Family, work ethic, sacrifice, and a nation of laws that can also show compassion. We are defined by our determination and our ability to overcome. Immigrants don't invade America, we invigorate this nation. Choose hope. Call us today.
All right, y'all, we're back with our shop talk, and I get to see, I haven't turned it over yet, but I get to see the reveal. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. Hey, it's my birthday. Ooh,
One time for the birthday girl.
Hey. I love it. It's so pretty.
Give me the mirror.
Thank you. Okay,
It's
okay.
always be doing the most. Honey. Always
Best I can do. So I be trying not to do too much of the most, but since we have a gentleman here, I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to get into this good conversation about relationships. There's so much to unpack. Ooh, I have bags on bags on bags on bags on bags to unpack.
A carry-on, 2-check baggage, a personal bag.
We're just gonna open the makeup bag today. Makeup and toiletry bag. What is the importance, or how important is it for a woman to let a man be a man?
Ooh. Wow. That's what y'all got from it. Okay, before I fall down this pit hole, have everybody commenting me. So kind of describe or define, I guess I'm interested in hearing and what you guys think, what you ladies think a man being a man means. Like what that's a very broad connotation. Like what does a man being a man actually mean?
Well, for me, I'll just go from a biblical standpoint. Your spouse is supposed to be a provider and protector. You know, so, and I think that this day and age, modern times, most women make more than their husbands. I would say for black women. I'm just going to say for black women most of the time. And I think for, yeah.
I'm gonna need to see some research.
Well, I'm just saying for most of the time. So let me just speak for me. We ain't got to go through all that research stuff. Him being him. So I'm just saying with that, I think a lot of women use that to make their husbands or their significant others feel less than if they make more money. And to me, it doesn't matter. If, you know, your spouse, if you make more money than your spouse is still your spouse. He's still supposed to be the head of your household. Hopefully he's a man of God that is leading you, because I think that's where sometimes it gets a little foggy when some women feel like, oh, he can't lead me anywhere. But you married him though. You knew that before you married him. He led you
down the aisle.
Yeah, exactly. And you walked down there with somebody, your brother, your uncle, your daddy, to say, I do. Yeah. So I think for me, that's what I think about. I should allow my spouse to be my spouse, even if I make more money than him. Give my opinion about whatever is going on in the house, but respect him as my leader to make the final decision, but I have input as well.
The final decision, do you mean like the final financial decisions? Like if you're bringing home the bacon, is he cooking it? Or, you know, what does that mean to you for him to be able to make the final decisions, but you make more money?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I can give, and just that. If you give your opinion and you say, hey, this is what I think, you know, husband, that we should do, and they're probably gonna go with you anyway, but I'm just saying, so be comfortable with, even if I disagree with a decision. And we've been through some situations where some husbands make some decisions and their wife give their opinion and they disagree. You know, we've experienced that on a professional level. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I mean.
Me too. I just got a revelation.
we've experienced that. You know, so that's what I mean. Even if I disagree, that I would at least have enough confidence in him to believe in his decision, or just go along with it. You know, something like that.
So for me, letting a man be a man means allowing him to, yes, make the final decision, but more so, I want to see a man like be confident and secure, but not arrogant and overbearing on me. I don't do well with that. You know, I'm an alpha female. I am very much a modern feminist, but I respect the men that I've, you know, been in relationships with to a point.
Maybe we should interview some of them.
Yeah, you can. I'm fine with that. But I respect them, but it comes to a point where, you know, if they have this expectation that I'm just supposed to sit down and be pretty and just shut up and take it, that's never gonna happen. That's not happening over here. So I just feel like being a man means that you need to know how to have the emotional intelligence to know that, I mean, if you've dealt with your mama, if you dealt with sisters, you've dealt with other women before, you should know how to read the room, you know, read my temperature and be able to tell, like, this is not the time for me to push this issue. But so, for example, I was in a wonderful relationship with someone who he passed on, but he was so secure in himself and so strong. And he would, when we had a disagreement or when he didn't want me to do something, he would literally call my name and it was like Scar, like Erica. And it was like done. It was settled. And I knew at that point, let me not push this anymore because this man is not having me and my stuff. Right. Erica, the extraordinary, has to just sit the crown down, you know? And so I respect when a man knows how to be kind, be considerate, but be stern. Yeah. And I know how to let him work in that space. Yeah.
Well, let me start by saying, in my own personal opinion, I've gone on record as saying this before. I'll say it again. I'll say it until Jesus comes back. I think women are the most powerful creatures on planet Earth. I believe you guys have the ladies have the ability to move heaven and earth. It's just a part of who God made y'all. I want to put that out there. There's no but, there's no however, just that by itself. And so to Erica's point, when you talked about, you know, I hope he is also able to read the room and to know and to be able to do so. And that's the key right there. A man should always lead with love. And I don't mean I love you. That's a given. But I mean, even in terms of a disagreement, because it's true. Like there's two of you. And if a vote is taken, one votes left, the other votes right, that's a tie. Someone has to have what we call in business partnerships, creative control. And I don't mean control in the negative connotation, like control you like a joystick, but someone has to make a decision. And in doing so, if a man is leading with love, in my opinion, then he's trying to come to a conclusion or a solution that is beneficial for the household, which means he realistically takes a look to see if what she's saying actually is the way we should go. Because when you lead with love, there's no place for this personal type of inherent, machismo, I'm the man. Oh, look at you, that's a Spanish term. Look at that's machisto. But you know, if he's leading with love, then there's no place for this type of arrogance, like you mentioned, where he's doing it just because it was his decision. Right. He's secure, and security also means, you know, hey, I'm secure enough to say, you know what, you've got the better solution. We're gonna go that route. Even if I have reservation, out of love, I can say that. Hey, babe, look, I don't think that's the best, but I'm not actually sure my solution is the best either. So let's go with what you said. And we'll both be watchful. We'll both be prayerful going forward to see if this is the actual work. And that's what happens when you're leading with love. Like I'm not keeping notes. There's a scripture in the Bible, you know, when it talks about love is this, love is this, love is not this, love is not this. Yes, one of the things in there is love keeps no record of wrongdoing. And so that's the part, like, it's like, oh, what about that time I wanted to do this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wait, no, we're over that.
Love is also long suffering.
Yes.
I don't want that.
You suffer long.
I don't know if that's a bad thing, though. Well, I don't know if long suffering means that, like, you know, it's for a long time. Yeah, it doesn't mean that it's like tormentous and just like difficult. It could very much mean that it's just, you know, it's reserved. And you do have to pay attention to your partner and know how to pivot when there is a decision that needs to be made. And if they do have the better decision, the long suffering might be, all right, I don't have the best decision. I realize that light bulb just went off. Right. But I submit to my partner.
Girl, my eye twitching, both of them. You can't see them with these glasses on, but I'm telling you, they twitching on both sides.
If your eyes are twitching on both sides, you're blinking.
Yeah, okay? No. I ain't blinking now.
Not twitching at the same time, Eric.
Girl, no ma'am.
You don't like this?
I don't want no long I'm speaking for the people in the back. I do not want that. Well, I've had enough of that.
That's true, too.
I've had enough of that. No. I don't want that. I have enough of that. And I am very patient. And I've endured a lot to be this patient. Mm-hmm. And people tell me, no, I'm patient, because people tell you, like, yes, I'm extra, I'm over the top, I'm all of those things.
Really?
Be quiet. All of those things, but I am patient. Mm-hmm. And you can, from you working with me and you working with me, I am very patient. I'm not gonna make a fuss about a whole lot of things. So that means I've had to endure a lot to get to this place. Mm-hmm. So I don't want no more of that.
Yeah. Well, I don't either. And stepping into 40, I certainly don't want any more foolishness. I just want to have a mature relationship. And I don't think that that's too much to ask for.
It's not.
To have a person who is spiritually mature, emotionally mature, and those are the things that, I guess I have had to work on, because you attract what you put out, right? So what I'm projecting is likely what I'm attracting, even though I feel like I'm pretty emotionally mature and I keep getting duds who aren't, even at older ages. And I've met guys who are younger. I'm serious. I've met guys who are in their late 20s who are far more emotionally developed than guys who are in their 60s, because they've been developing their work, they've been developing their career, and they haven't put the energy into developing healthy relationships with women. And that becomes really challenging for me, because they are where I want them to be, because the 20-year-olds are certainly not. 20-year-olds serve their purpose. And I'm just saying, but it's true. But the 50, 60-year-old guys are like where I'm most interested in, because we have similar business interests, we have similar life interests, we've traveled, we have different experiences that match up. But honey, they can be so challenging to get through that barrier and that wall that they have built up on, I'm the man and you're the woman and you do what I say and this is how it goes. It's
well,
like,
this 60-year-old don't act like that.
See how you do me?
This 60-year-old doesn't act like that. I think his wife is very happily married.
Yes,
What you say, 60-year-old?
Lord Jesus.
When you
America, I was saying like Charles Bar, America. Y'all see what I had to deal with on set.
When you dress like you do, though, you should have some level of je ne sais quoi. Yes. You should have some, finesse to you that allows you to know how to do it right.
That took some time, it took time, and I had to learn how to really understand that the mate is supposed to bring balance. And you have to allow that and really listen and to hear. And I was just having this conversation with my pastor, actually, and I was talking about how I was explaining to him how in the Bible it's described as the helpmeet. And so the King James version and translation uses M-E-E-T. But I learned in school a while ago that wasn't the original meat. The original meat was M-E-T-E, which is the same system, the metric system in which we use scales. And so when the Bible says that she was Adam's helpmeet, she was to help bring balance. God originally made Eve out of a need Adam didn't have fulfilled. Just think about that. He had everything on earth. And not just had it, had dominion over it. He could command it. He could call it what he wanted to call it. Was no pushback, no nothing. And God looked at all that and said, this is cool, but he ain't got enough. And so he put him to sleep. So that's the first thing men need to realize, I think, is that first of all, who you are before you meet Eve needs to be put to sleep.
Break that down now for the ladies.
That's
a wrap. That's good. Break that down.
I'm saying it's like that's before he could pull Eve from Adam's rib, who Adam was before Eve came about, had to be put to sleep. And so you need to lay that down, man, and realize that I'm going into a different season. I've now got something. I don't have to do it all now. And so part of being a man actually means, and you have to recognize that I have help now. And that help sometimes come in the form of an opinion you don't like.
I sure hope there's some people watching today.
Look at
you are
God giving us a word over here.
Comes in a form you may not want to hear, you know, and we have to be open to that and listening to that and hear that. Sometimes, and it's about management. You know, sometimes I know it's not quite the right decision that my wife wants to go with, but I also can recognize this one's not going to kill us. Let me give her this one.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's a give and take, a push pull. So I know this may not be the right decision, but I can still cover that. I can still cover her even in this decision, and I think there'll be a greater lesson learned from it later that we'll both be able to glean from. And so I'll ride with it. All of that is a part of just. So I think, you know, I don't think as the topic would suggest. This is where I'm going. I don't think as the topic would suggest that women have as much of a problem letting a man be a man. I think the more prevalent problem is men knowing how to be men. And that's what I see most. I don't see women having as much trouble when the man knows how to do those things. Because now think about it, millennials were raised by Xers. Xers were raised by baby boomers. Baby boomer parents, our moms had it down. Our aunts had it down.
Yeah, they did.
And so that's who Xers learned from was boomers. And so I don't think women innately just don't know how to be women and know how to submit. No.
Well, I challenge you on that only because there are women who do have to learn how to be more soft and how to be more feminine, especially when you do make a lot of money. You know, when you're in an industry where, you know, you can go into work and make $1,000 in a day, that is unusual in a lot of different circumstances. And so when you are that type of woman who is a self-starter entrepreneur and you make it and you go and you spend it and you got it, it becomes a little bit challenging when you're attracting a mate and he either doesn't have that same kind of workflow or when you're dealing with someone who is a little insecure and in his manhood and doesn't know how to balance, like you said. I think that some women do have to learn how to just kind of step back,
chill out, girl,
and be softer, because there's that responsibility on us too to learn how to be feminine and work in that divine feminine energy that allows us to, you know, really get what we want and to flex our power in such a way that we're not yelling and screaming and nagging, but we are reserved and still receiving.
What if you're that way, but your man knows how, like I said earlier, to cover that, how to have a conversation and talk about, even help you through becoming more feminine or becoming more, or whatever's necessary for the household. I think that's a part of his role as well.
That leads to a whole lot of babies, because that honey, that would open me right up.
I think that's a part of. I think that's a part of the manhood. He should. That's a part of his kingship.
Yes,
should be.
You have more babies.
We
should
have
be a part of his.
kingdom.
You know, you're heated right now. Cool. Let that slide. Let me go in here and cook something. You sit on that side of the bar. Let me pour your favorite glass of wine. You chill, stay out of the kitchen for now, and then after we've eaten, I come back and say, "Babe, you were a little harsh. You were a little rough that last time." I love that fire. That fire is what brings bread home, and so I love that. I don't want you to lose that, but just kind of be cognizant when we're in that kind of. You see what I'm saying? When we're in that mode and we're fussing and fighting, you know, be cognizant. And so he'll be able to. And he'll, you know, I think if he's able to do that and he learns that skill, I don't think there'll be any.
Teach the class.
You know, like so,
Teach the young men.
But we want, and to be honest, men, we want resolution right then. So in the midst of the argument, you get loud, we get louder. You get loud, we get louder. And so now you have this. No. You learn to mature down and okay, let me let her.
You can finesse women. That's what I tell guys all the time.
Yes.
And you know why I want to do that? Because my love for her is stronger than me wanting to be right now. And that goes back to what I was saying, leading with love. And it's all, everything I say is going to come back to that. Because I love her, I want to bring about a solution. And again, I value my peace.
Come on, one time I value your peace.
So,
okay, well, I'll tell you what, this conversation has been like red velvet cake. I appreciate you. This has been fabulous. This has been wonderful. CL, how do we find more about you?
So CL the brand, custom tailors on Instagram. It's probably the easiest way, the most active form I have. CL the brand on everything really. CL the brand, custom tailors. So there you'll find me.
All right, doing your thing.
Find me. Oh, well, you all know I usually do style tips, honey. But listen, I am going to defer to my old style check co-host. Just in case you didn't know, this used to be the love of my life, but he got married. But no, for real. He's my brother for real. So I'm going to defer to him for style tips today, because you know.
They only hired me at the previous, so I knew how to, I was a professional Katrina button pusher.
He can push my button.
I gotta pull it out on camera. I say from style check or from a style perspective, the most important thing anyone could ever do or to realize is the most important thing is fit. This for men and women. You want the most slender fit, no matter how big or robust or large you think you are. Most of us, when we're talking about that, we're talking about depth. We're talking about where we are here. The truth of the matter is our anatomy, no matter how big you are here in terms of depth, no one, for the most part, no one's hips is wider than their shoulders. So we automatically just humanistically create this natural V. So wear clothing that accentuates that. No matter how big you are, you'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you, C. Well, y'all have an awesome holiday. I'm going to have a fantastic birthday. Yes. I will have to post pictures of my epic birthday adventure a little bit later. It's going to be great. But until then, God bless you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
And thank you for joining us again this week on Shop Talk. And we'll be back in a couple weeks after our holiday break.